This is Brian Johnson, better known as the Liver King, and this is also what appears to be a complete mental breakdown being broadcast to millions of followers in real time. Just a couple days ago, the Liver King was arrested for making terroristic threats against Joe Rogan a la Daniel Larson style after posting a series of videos unhinged, so unhinged that even his own fans were begging for him to get help. We're talking about a man wearing a wolfskin headdress, holding gold-plated assault rifles, threatening somebody, saying things like, guess what? You're dead.
You're dead. You're dead. Because yeah.
Don't you believe that you could become anything? Don't you think you too could become anything? And just try. Because I was nothing. Like really nothing. And it was really hard for a long time.
This has been a long time coming. The internet has been watching the Liver King unravel in front of our very eyes since he was originally exposed back in 2022 for being a massive scammer and fraudster. We're going to be diving into the reason why in today's video. And I'm sure by the time this comes out, much more will happen because as of recording this, he's out on $20,000 bond wearing an ankle monitor and he's banned from being within 200 feet from Joe Rogan, and he's posting a lot and not mentioning Joe Rogan's name, but still saying he wants to hug him. So I have no idea what's going to happen between now and when this video actually goes up. We'll start with what just happened. In May 2025, Netflix released Untold: The Liver King, which was a documentary that was supposed to be Brian Johnson's redemption arc. The redemption coming after his catastrophic steroid scandal in 2022. But instead, Untold became a brutal autopsy of the lies of the Liver King and the complete destruction of his empire. The documentary was directed by Joe Perlman, who had previously worked on the Harry Potter reunion special. He's kind of a legend. And was meant to show the Liver King's path to recovery and self-reflection. But it seemed like what it actually did was open every psychological wound that this man has been trying to heal for years, and now he is on a path of what appears to be much drug use and just destruction. It's going to be over very soon. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I assume he's going to go back to jail. The documentary is absolutely savage in its portrayal. It showed behind-the-scenes footage of Johnson's breakdown when the steroid emails were first leaked. There were a bunch of interviews with people who watched his empire crumble in real time, and most damaging of all, it featured extensive clips of Joe Rogan mocking him on podcasts.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. That jacked. I mean, he's preposterously jacked. Do we have a fucking... now that we know that he's full of shit, we're talking about the Liver King, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are like, what are they saying? This is all inside stuff.
Rogan called him full of shit and preposterous back in 22, and those words were now being broadcast to millions upon millions of Netflix subscribers as the definitive judgment of Brian Johnson and his entire life. And it is also absolutely true. He is a massive liar. He's completely full of shit and lied to everybody, and yeah, he sucks. So the Netflix documentary comes out and seems to cause some extreme negativity for the Liver King. On June 23rd, 2025, something seemed to just snap inside the Liver King's brain. Something fundamentally snapped. The video started with him wearing a wolfskin headdress, shirtless as always, but he has two gold-plated AR-15 style rifles, and his eyes look particularly glassy. One is always dilated and has been since he received some brain trauma from a band that hit him in the back of the head, or the eye rather, during a workout injury, which we'll be getting into that because a lot of people are wondering, his eyes, he's on drugs. Dude, he's got a fucked up brain because of massive amounts of steroids and a brain injury. So this is a very complex scenario. In the videos he posted on this day, specifically this one, his speech pattern is rapid fire and disconnected from reality. He seems as if he's in some kind of manic episode. He says, Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out.
My name's Liver King. Man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah.
My name's Liver King, man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. I have no training in jiu-jitsu, and you're a black belt. You should dismantle me. Your rules, I'll come to you whenever you're ready.
And now we know that he went to jail. So obviously, it's immediately a concerning thing. It's not funny. I shouldn't have laughed. I should have my ass beaten. This isn't just the Liver King's normal performative character. By the way, many people have gone years without seeing anything from this guy. He's been consistently declining for a very long time. There is some weird shit going on. Last year, I made a video when he went into a fast food restaurant and is just rambling. He appears to be extremely mentally ill, talking to people. It's so bizarre. But these most recent events are a definite turn, and the Liver King absolutely needs help from a psychiatrist, a real doctor, something, because the primal tenets are not working at all, and I fear for his family and the people around him. And him, obviously. After this wolf headdress video and over the next 24 hours, Brian continued to become increasingly unhinged. He announced he was traveling to Austin, Texas, specifically to where Joe Rogan lives, and he documented the entire journey like he's planning some kind of heroic Greek confrontation. And on June 24th, Brian checked into the Four Seasons Hotel located at 98 San Jacinto Boulevard, in case you want to, perform your own coffee in the shower there. And Brian began posting more bizarre videos from the Four Seasons. And these videos crossed every single line. Some stuff was classic Liver King stuff, and some things were more eccentric content you'd see with low viewership on TikTok. Gold nuggets, I like to call them.
Good morning, Primals. This is Mr. Enema Bucket. That's coffee, Keon.
And some of the content was just genuine threats.
Guess what? You're dead.
At approximately 12 a.m., Johnson posted another video which captured him in the front driveway of the hotel where he appeared to have arrived in Austin, and started the video by saying, "Just pulled up to the capital of Texas. Guess what? You're dead, you're dead, you're dead." Another even more disturbing detail from the police report we have is at approximately 1 a.m., Brian Johnson posted another video of himself inside the Four Seasons hotel room where he highlighted that he brought the above described black box with the JRE symbol on it with him to Austin. And during this video, Brian is secretive about what's in the box, but he talks about the contents by saying, "You can't buy this type of stuff, not reproducible kind of stuff. Presents like that Joe Rogan, that's how we do it in Texas." So Austin PD contacted Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan said that he was made aware of the threats by his security team, and he interpreted Brian Johnson's actions and statements as threatening, which resulted in Rogan filing a police report. And Rogan told police he had never had any sort of contact with Brian Johnson and was unaware why Brian Johnson would target him. Most importantly, Joe Rogan went on to say that he had been told that Brian Johnson has a significant drug issue, and from what Joe Rogan had observed from his recent posts, it appeared that he was very unstable and seems like he needs massive mental psychiatric help. They've had run-ins in the past, not physically with each other, but I remember seeing some clips of the Liver King talking about how badly he wanted to go on Joe Rogan's podcast, but Joe Rogan thought that he was just full of shit before More Plates, More Dates exposed him.
Yeah, the Liver King thing drives me nuts because that guy's on steroids.
Well,
just shut the fuck up.
well, so
I know he's eating really healthy. It's clear he's eating all these animal foods, and he's eating organ meat, which is very rich in nutrients. Well, that's true, but he's dodging the main bullet.
So it seems like there's long-standing bad blood aside from just the things that were brought up in the recent Netflix documentary. So then Brian Johnson was placed under arrest, put into a police car, and formally charged with making terroristic threats, which is a Class B misdemeanor, and he was booked into the Travis County Jail. Released on bond, and then he just went home. And it didn't slow down at all. Disturbingly, the arrest did nothing at all. He still wants to meet Joe Rogan. He just won't talk about Joe Rogan. He just won't say his name in the videos that he's been posting. It's so bizarre. And his wife and family are there. It's unbelievable. It's so sad. To understand how serious this is, I think it's important to know a bit more about the Liver King's story. When he was a kid, he was small and weak and was systematically destroyed by bullies from a very early age. He was beaten up. His father died when he was very young. He had trouble establishing himself and finding his place in the world, and school for him was an absolute nightmare. He was grossly undersized, which is an actual quote, and he looked different from everybody else around him. I know small people who are really nice and not crazy, to be honest, and who didn't, lie for years about steroid abuse and then enrich themselves. And I don't know. I know plenty of small people. My dad's pretty small. He doesn't really care. So I think it's normal. That aside, the Liver King has talked very openly about the trauma that he faced when he was a child. Sustained beatings. It's a type of trauma that can break someone or forge them into someone else entirely. And he used the negative energy that he received as a young person to develop a business and all these different things and try to turn it around, but develop deep insecurities about his masculinity, his worth, and place in the world, etc., etc., etc. These are all excuses that he made when he got excused, by the way. He just wanted to stop bullying. So yeah, as he grew up, he got really jacked. back, started getting strong, and it changed the way people felt about him, and the people who tormented him suddenly began accepting him, and so on. And it's just like, a story you've heard many times before. It's beautiful. It's a good story. He grows up to be successful, and by 2020, he had built a very successful dental practice with his wife, Barbara, the liver queen, as she's called, and they were living fairly comfortably, and he wanted to be famous and do all this shit, and he's got his fucking supplement company, Heart and Soil, which was a very popular supplement company before he became really popular, but he built the primitive, masculine Liver King character and created an empire, essentially. An empire completely built on lies and totally fabricated from the ground up, by the way, so not a great empire. He developed the 9 ancestral tenets: sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, bond, shit, coffee. I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot of them. They're all pretty good. I'm gonna be real. They all make a lot of sense, but it's just like one of them things. You just don't, he's lying about it. It's cool. Be healthy, etc. Don't sun your bung. Don't sun your bung. It's the classic idea of repackaging ancient wisdom and using it as a marketing vehicle to sell shit. That's what he did. And he did that by being really jacked and eating ball sacks on camera. Sorry, not ball sacks. Testicles. He didn't eat the sack much. Within 6 months, he blew up massively, was super popular. Everybody was talking about him and all this stuff, and he seemed like he was completely on top of the world. And the problem is he's building this whole thing saying, I eat liver and I hunt people, and I use this spear to hunt and stuff. And he's telling millions of people that his incredible physique is as a result of the way that he's living his life and the decisions that he's making. Eating organs, following the ancestral principles, but in reality, he was secretly spending over $10,000 every single month on steroids and HGH. Deca, Winstrol, Test, Omnitrope, HGH, all of the most powerful performance-enhancing drugs this man was dousing himself with. Just sucking them down, brother. Speaking of sucking them down, go to sour.gg and buy some new Rocket Pop flavored Sour Boys. These are incredible. I don't know if you've had Sour Boys before, but they're my company. We make them here in Texas. This is like a half-eaten bag, obviously. Natural flavors, natural dyes, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of spice. Delicious. Listen to this. Oh! That's called the Licorice Snap. Go to sour.gg and buy some while supplies last. So this guy's going crazy, exactly like our ancestors did. Anabolic ancestors. Oh! So every single video where he claimed to be natty, every interview where he denied using performance enhancers, and every supplement he sold based on that promise that you could look like him by eating it, all a fucking lie, all deception, massive scammer. Huge, massive scammer. His ancestral supplements made so much money. Heart and Soil, Fittest Medicine Man, social media endorsements, so much stuff. But by November 2022, things changed drastically. Derek, more plates, more dates, had been a very vocal critic of Brian Johnson and repeatedly challenged his claims of him being natural, in spite of him building a literally impossible physique. By late November 2022, we had someone leak Brian Johnson's private emails to a hormone clinic, and the contents were ridiculous. So Derek made a video exposing the emails. It went extremely viral, and within hours, the fitness community exploded with reactions to the Liver King lie. It took 3 days for the Liver King to respond, and his wife, Barbara, reportedly told him to deny everything and to claim that the emails were fake, but the evidence was obviously overwhelming, and the documentation was too detailed. So on December 1st, Brian Johnson posted a very infamous confession video where he's just bitching and moaning, and it's just terrible.
I fucked up. I've done steroids. I am a liar. Oh.
He just said all this shit. I don't fucking know. Who cares, dude? Quit lying and making a lot of money off it. You fucker. Instead of taking any level of responsibility like our ancestors would have done, he framed his lies as an experiment to spread awareness about the thousands of people who commit suicide on a daily basis. So he painted himself as a noble warrior fighting for lost young men by lying about steroids, and I don't get it. It's an unbelievable amount of cognitive dissonance. It's staggering. Dude is fraud. He is fraudulent. His whole thing is just fraud, lies, complete and total lies, and he's like,
people hurt themselves.
Dude, yeah, you're making it worse. Shut up. You're making it impossible to look like you. Needless to say, the impact from that was instant. Millions of followers disappeared overnight. I don't actually know if that's true. I just like to imagine. The sales of his supplements plummeted, his partnerships were canceled, and basically his career was totally destroyed. Still has a lot of money though, so who cares? But there was a $25 million class action lawsuit that accused him of fraud and deceptive advertising, but that was later dismissed, which I don't understand how that's possible, but he went from a supplement mogul to an industry pariah in just a matter of 72 hours, thanks to Derek. And after this, things really started going downhill. The man who preached about optimal health was falling apart physically and psychologically. In 2023, he seriously injured his eye during what he called a resistance band exercise. He essentially knocked himself unconscious and caused a severe retinal detachment. Doctors told him that his eye was destroyed and he would likely lose vision permanently, and brain scans revealed a traumatic brain injury. How exactly does a band do that to you? I have no idea. Like, I still don't understand how that happened. I don't understand. But to me, that's what all this is a result of his TBI. TBIs are very serious and they can change people fundamentally. And the behavior that I'm seeing is the behavior that I've witnessed from people, a person, somebody, people. And then you mix that with other things and it just becomes a recipe for freakiness, scare, horrible, needs help badly. There's also some other theories. People theorize that his consumption of raw meat potentially could have exposed him to parasitic infections. There's a type of tapeworm that the eggs can go across the blood-brain barrier and get inside your brain and make you go all fucking crazy. I also knew a guy who that happened to. His name was Rigo. His name is Rigo. He's still alive. He had it treated though. And he didn't go crazy, he just had a lot of headaches. So time goes by, he's deteriorating. There's all these bizarre videos of him coming out. The one that I mentioned where he goes to the fast food joint with his sons and just rambling and he's talking about psychedelics, and you combine all these things in his fragile, weird ego, and you just get a man who has nothing rational left in his life at all. The Liver King documentary comes out earlier this year. Everything collapsed. No credibility, nothing. He's a broken man who has literally eaten himself alive from the inside out. So bizarre. Followers of his, myself included, I've followed him on all platforms since the very beginning. I've been very invested in this entire thing. We watch as he goes from an eccentric guru to starting to exhibit increasingly erratic behavior in posts. No more carefully choreographed workouts or chasing tribespeople around the plains of Africa. No more consumption of raw or undercooked meat, but instead rambling, paranoid rants about enemies and conspirators trying to destroy him. The comment sections have been filled with people begging him to get help, please see a doctor. He's not going to. He's too rich. Like 5150. Something bad. He's going to be proven to be a danger to himself. That's what I think is going to happen. It's the same thing that happened with fucking Daniel Larson and all these other. It's so bad. You can't mix the internet with mental illness. And a lot of money, especially. That's even worse. Then we get to his seemingly credible threats against Joe Rogan, his arrest, and now we're back here. And he's still posting. He's out. He's still posting. He's got a fucking ankle monitor. What is going on with the Liver King right now?
If you locked that shit down, you kind of did, as our ancestors did it. We'll call it a rite of passage. We readied you, so you're really not scared. You can't wait to go on the fucking lion hunt. Maybe you'll wear the tooth, or maybe you'll die. But we're going to have 8 of you, a lot of you little kids, because most of you are going to die in childbirth anyways.
He's on Kyle Kingsbury's podcast here, old MMA fighter. I used to love that guy a lot, him and Stephan Bonner. Anyways, who the fuck has a podcast with birds in the background? Why? These are just videos of him fucking rambling.
More plates, more dates guy. Unsubscribe to him and the vigorous other guy. And then everyone who unsubscribes, every single one, the millions, I'm going to donate the exact amount to a charity that does good.
Wow.
And I have a present for been trying to give him. I didn't know the right time to give it to him. More plates, more dates.
I don't know what's going on, brother. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, keep an eye out. I don't know. Hope y'all enjoyed.